Okay. So meiosis is taking place in the reproductive cells, or it is also called as germinal cells. So that is the backdrop. So they are taking place in the formation of gametes. And you should understand meiosis is also called as reductional cell division, because the parent cell will be two set of chromosomes. The gametes that are formed, or the daughter cells that are formed after meiosis, they'll have only one set of chromosomes. So meiosis has two steps: meiosis 1, meiosis 2. So they immediately after meiosis 1, so there is a interkinesis stage, a short duration of break immediately followed by meiosis 2. Meiosis 2, many of them, they also call it as haploid mitosis. In meiosis 1 itself, the haploid daughter cells are formed. So the haploid cells are formed. In meiosis 2, they multiply. From 2, it becomes 4 in number. So meiosis 2, it is uh, going to lead to the formation of 4 daughter cells, which are haploid. So meiosis 2 is also called as haploid mitosis, because all the stages are equivalent to mitosis. Okay, so we'll discuss that later on. So you have to remember, overall, the meiosis is taking place in the reproductive or germinal cells. So they are involved in the formation of gametes, which are all haploid. So meiosis helps in maintaining a constant ploidy level among organisms. So the parents and the progeny will have the same set of chromosomes, so there won't be any variation. So meiosis helps in maintaining the constant ploidy level. Meiosis is also called as reductional division, reductional cell division. Reason is the parent cell will be having two set of chromosomes, and the newly formed daughter cells will be having one set of chromosome. That is, from diploid parent cell, they are going to form haploid daughter cells, which are going to function in most of the cases as gametes. Okay. So meiosis, it is a division of diploid germ cells that reduce the chromosome number by half, forming haploid daughter cells. So in case of human beings, 46 cells are there during the formation of the sperm cells. 46 chromosomes are there in a cell. So when they undergo meiosis, they are going to form 4 sperm cells, and each sperm cell will be having only 23 chromosomes. So half of it is there. So diploid number 2 set of chromosome was found in the parent cell, whereas in the daughter cells that are formed, they have single set of chromosomes, or half set of chromosomes are there. So we call them as haploid daughter cells. So you'll be studying about the spermatogenesis and oogenesis in human beings in the next academic year. As of now, we won't be studying about that. But for the formation of sperms, for the formation of egg cell, they undergo meiotic cell division or reductional cell division. So meiosis is the division of diploid germ cells that reduces the chromosome number by half, forming the haploid daughter cells or gametes. So it occurs during meiosis, occurs during gametogenesis. Okay, so meiosis leads to haploid phase in the life cycle of sexually reproducing organisms. So fertilization is going to restore the diploid phase. So the gametes formed will be haploid, but when they undergo this fertilization, that is fusion of male and female gamete, and when they are going to form zygote, that diploid phase is restored in the zygote. So fertilization restores the diploid phase in the zygote. Okay, so that is what you have to remember about. So the meiosis leads to haploid phase in the life cycle of sexually reproducing organisms. Fertilization is going to restore the diploid phase by the formation of zygote. In the zygote, they are going to replace the diploid phase. That happens when the male and female gamete are going to fuse. We can call this as syngamy or fertilization. So the fertilization restores the diploid phase. So the key features of meiosis: it involves two cycles, meiosis 1 and meiosis 2, but only a single cycle of DNA replication. See, the DNA replication takes place before meiosis 1, and not before meiosis 2, there is no replication of DNA. So the DNA replication takes place only before meiosis 1. So there is a single cycle of DNA replication. So you should remember, so meiosis involves two cycles of cell division and a single cycle of DNA replication. So it involves two cycles, meiosis 1 and meiosis 2, but only a single cycle of DNA replication. And it involves pairing up of homologous chromosomes and recombination between them. See, all of us are having, I'm taking up again an example of human beings so that we can correlate it better. See, we are having 46 chromosomes. Each and every cell of our body has 46 chromosomes. So 46 chromosomes, of which 23 chromosomes are from mother's side, 23 chromosomes are from father's side. So homologous chromosomes are similar chromosomes which pair together. So one chromosome will be paternal chromosome, another will be maternal chromosome. In your language, you can call it as papa chromosome, mama chromosome. Okay, so they would be similar chromosomes, they will be paired. Always they are paired. Okay, so this homologous chromosomes, we call them as similar chromosome. See, we have 23 chromosomes, chromosome 1, chromosome 2, chromosome 3, chromosome 4, of which nearly 22 chromosomes are autosomes, which are not involved in, they are called as non-sex chromosomes. Sex chromosomes will be the, in case of male, it is the XY chromosome. In case of female, it would be XX chromosome. Okay, so in 46 chromosomes, 44 are non-sex chromosomes or autosomes, we call it as. The one pair will be the allosomes or sex chromosomes. So we'll be understanding that in the uh, when we come to the topic of genetics in the next year. Just remember now, so we would be having that uh, in a haploid cell, 22 will be autosome and one will be the sex chromosome. In diploid, it would be 44 chromosomes are autosomes and two chromosomes will be
Allison.
the sex chromosomes or allosomes. Okay, and many times you might have a fight with your parents and say that you're not my parents, you're not my mother, you're not my father. You can say that, but that is only through words you can say it, because in your cell, each and every cell of your body, you have 23 chromosomes from your father's side, 23 chromosomes from your mother's side. Okay, paternal chromosomes, maternal chromosomes. So chromosome 1, uh, similar chromosomes, a pair of them will be there, chromosome 1. Okay, so chromosome 2, a pair of them will be there. They are homologous chromosomes, and one chromosome is from the mother side, one chromosome is from the father side. Okay, so this you can remember about. So it many times uh, we use this like ardhangi. So maybe that part of it, like half of our chromosomes are from mother side, half of our chromosomes are from our father side. Paternal chromosomes, maternal chromosomes, that you can notice here. So the meiosis, during meiosis, what you notice is the pairing up of homologous chromosomes and recombination between them. See, the homologous chromosomes, they are going to cross over and there would be recombination of genes between them. Okay. Meiosis 1, it begins after replication of parental chromosomes to form identical sister chromatids. So the replication of DNA has taken place already in the cell cycle, that is the interphase. Meiosis 1 begins after the replication of parental chromosomes to form identical sister chromatids at the S phase. That is taking place only once the DNA replication takes place. Four haploid cells are formed at the end of meiosis 2. See, in mitosis, there was only two daughter cells formed. In meiosis, there would be four daughter cells formed and all of them are haploid. In mitosis, it might be all of them are diploid. Diploidy level is the same as that of the parent. Okay, so four haploid cells are formed at the end of meiosis 2. That is what you have to remember about. Now, stages of meiosis. Meiosis 1 has prophase 1, metaphase 1, anaphase 1, telophase 1. And in between meiosis 1 and meiosis 2, there is an interkinesis stage, a short duration of uh, phase would be there, interkinesis. Immediately they, after this interkinesis stage, they enter into meiosis 2, that is prophase 2, metaphase 2, anaphase 2, and telophase 2. So these are the stages of meiosis. Okay, they'll have meiosis 1 with prophase 1, which is the most elongated phase, and you should be very much importance you have to provide for this prophase 1. Okay, and the other stages are all normal: metaphase 1, anaphase 1, telophase 1. So the meiosis 2, and here in meiosis 1, anaphase 1 you should be studying about, because the spindle fiber will be attached to only one side of the centromere, and it is not attached to both the centromere. As a result of that, the complete chromosome with two sister chromatids are taken back at two opposite poles. So if they are having six chromosomes, three moves towards one pole, the other three chromosome moves towards the other pole. But in mitosis, you might have noticed during anaphase, the splitting up of centromere. So that doesn't take place in anaphase 1. So because the spindle fibers attach the centromere at only one end, not at opposite ends, as it was in case of the anaphase of mitosis. But in anaphase 2, what you noticed in mitosis, you can notice here in anaphase 2, the spindle fibers are attached to both the ends of the centromere, and the centromere longitudinally splits, and they are going to form one sister chromatid with centromere moves towards the opposite pole. Okay, that you notice in anaphase 2. That is the reason meiosis 2 is also called as haploid mitosis. Many times they also call this meiosis 2 as mitosis of haploid cells. Haploid mitosis, it is also called as. Okay, so remember up to this stage, so we'll be discussing the prophase 1 in the next class. It is a, as I've already told you, it is a typical longer and more complex stage. It includes 5 phases. You can call it as, I remember by this mnemonics, taking the first letter word, I remember always all the stages as LZPD square. L stands for leptotin, Z for zygotin, P stands for packitine, D square is diplotin, and final stage is diakinesis. Always remember the prophase 1 is, they might ask you for 5 mark question also. With diagram, you have to write it. So there are 5 stages. LZP D square. You can remember by this by the mnemonics. LZP D square. Leptotin, zygotin, packitine, diplotin, diakinesis. So that is how you can remember these 5 stages. So where in this stage you find that the homologous chromosomes, they are going to pair together, which we call it as synapses. So the paired chromosome, they are going to cross over. The non-sister chromatids of this homologous chromosomes, they are going to cross over. There is a formation of chiasmata. A fragment of paternal chromosome gets attached to maternal. A fragment of maternal gets attached to paternal. Okay, so a fragment of papa chromosome gets attached to mama chromosome, and the maternal or mama chromosome to the papa chromosome. Don't write papa and mama there. I use the terms, biological terms, paternal and maternal. Okay, so that genetic recombination happens because the fragments are going to rejoin into, from paternal it rejoins to maternal, from maternal it comes to paternal. So since the chromosomal arms are going to be changed after the crossing over, there is a recombination of genes. Genetic recombination takes place. Whenever there is genetic recombination, it leads to variation. Genes recombine ಆದರೆ ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸಗಳಾಗತ್ತೆ, variations, and variations are the raw materials for evolution. So even though we we have this maternal and paternal chromosomes from the parent side, we are different from our parents, isn't it? So at least in a few of the attributes there is a differences that you can notice, and that is always because of this genetic recombination. Genes are recombining. The ultimate purpose of sexual reproduction in nature is the genes should recombine. There should be variations, and variations leads to evolution, because more the variations, the better they can get adapted to changing scenario. Okay, changing environmental conditions. So when we come to organic evolution, we'll discuss about that. So the ultimate purpose of the sexual reproduction is genes should recombine. Okay, and there would be the progeny with new set of attributes or variations or vyatyasalu. That variations and mutations are the raw materials for evolution, which we'll discuss in the next year topic of organic evolution. All that happens in the meiosis prophase 1. Okay, the pairing up of chromosomes, which we call it as synapses. Then there is crossing over of non-sister chromatids of these homologous chromosomes. Then chiasmata formation, terminalization of this crossing over. So wherein you find that a fragment of paternal chromosome gets attached to maternal, a fragment of maternal gets attached to paternal. So that sort of crossing over you can notice, and as a result of that, there is a recombination of genes. So this we will be studying in the next class in detail about the meiosis. In detail, we'll be studying about the prophase 1. Okay, so very important stage in meiosis, which we'll be studying in the next class.